Hi, Dad. Welcome back to another episode of Dave and Andy's Honest About Life. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. In that last session, you shared with us a really powerful, moving story that I had never heard you say. And that's a really good message you shared with us about honesty and uh, and some of those, as you're growing up, some of the life lessons that you go through, right, that end up playing a big role in your life. I was thinking about one of the questions that I'd asked you about, in terms of, when as you're growing up, you realize that what you were told or taught isn't exactly true or accurate. But for whatever reason, one thing that I remember you telling me about, which isn't exactly along those lines, but was an eye opener for you, was the one I think when you were young, you didn't smoke cigarettes. You were an athlete. It was just probably something that maybe your parents suggested you shouldn't do, or for whatever reason, maybe you were afraid of smoking cigarettes because I'm sure as a kid they could be scary. But I think what was an eye opener for you was, and you're gonna think I'm odd for remembering this story, but the time that you said you saw your gym teacher with a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve.
Yes, yes, I do. And I don't know if I want to mention his name because I love him. I love him to death.
You don't have
He
to.
was one of my favorite. He was my fourth grade teacher, and it was just eye opening. And he since has given up smoking, but it was just, it was such a shock of my life because I looked up to him. And my mom and dad said smoking was the worst thing you could do. And I think it was all about the health issues were just starting to come out about what, cigarettes do to your health. And the fact that, I couldn't play in sports. And all those things were more important than smoking. But it was just such an eye opener for me to see my teacher. He was my fourth grade teacher. He was also the phy ed coach. So he was out there running, but when I look back, I remember him getting out of breath pretty easily, because he was a smoker. But I didn't even realize it until I saw him. I walked by the teacher's lounge, and there he was smoking, and I just about died.
Well, why do you suppose, every once in a while you see someone smoking nowadays, and the message is out there that it's just bad for your health. And there's probably tons of data, right? I think there is tons of data that it likely is going to end up badly for you, your lungs, your long-term health, quality of health, all that kind of stuff. Um, what in your case, like you said, your dad probably put the fear of God in you.
Yeah,
Don't smoke. Because your siblings didn't either that I'm aware of. Uh,
correct.
yeah. So why do people continue to smoke? Do you think? Well, when they know what is it?
Isn't it? I try to think of that too. Why? One of my best friends, mom was a chain smoker. And I just remember going over to his house after school sometimes, and it was like a haze in their house, just a fog to get through
Right.
because she was just smoking all the time. And but yet he was one of the smartest kids in the school. So it was one of the other things that they taught us, that it hurts our brain cells, like the smoke, cigarette smoke, whatever. And I go, why is that? And he's breathing this all the time. He's one of the smartest kids in the school. He really was. He graduated like second in the class. So, you know, those all those things kind of resonated with me. Like, who's telling me the truth here? What what is the meaning of this? And yet to this day, they put disclaimers on cigarette packages that tell this may cause cancer or whatever. I've never looked at it exactly, but I know that they've got a disclaimer on there to say that this could be a health risk. But yet people don't even care.
I imagine that, young people, as they're trying to find themselves, as they're trying to fit in, they try smoking cigarettes, and for some it becomes a habit. That they look cool,
It's peer
all
pressure.
of that, right?
Yeah.
All of that, and I just, I think about it. I see it every once in a while. I feel bad because I imagine it's a very difficult habit to break. You feel bad when you see those commercials where those who smoke say, "Look, I have people tell me all the time, why do you smoke?" They ask the question, "Why do you smoke?" Or that's bad for your health. I love you. I want you to stop. I'm just thinking about your health. They know all that stuff. They've heard it a million times, but they still can't stop smoking. I just wonder
That's an
why.
addiction. That's the nicotine thing coming into play. I believe it's very, I
Strong.
think it's very addictive. I'm not sure, but I've heard that it's pretty addictive. And once you start smoking, it's very difficult to stop. And unfortunately, you know, young people start, and then it's hard for them to stop as they get older.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see the end of the sale of cigarettes, nicotine cigarettes, in our lifetime?
Yeah, there's a lot of vape products now that have anything you want in there. So I'm thinking that we will see the end of cigarettes, of burning, you know, a cigarette.
Right, right. Interesting. Well, you know, for sure, for sure. I hope for everyone's health that we do. But so anyway,
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that, Dad.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the next one next time, next topic. So thank you
Sounds
so
good,
much.
buddy.
Thanks for spending time with me, Dad.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. I'll never replace it, man.
All right, love you, Dad. See you soon.
Love you. See ya.